So now that we're actually running video, people can look and they can see you have a new look. You got your haircut, but this isn't just any old haircut. This is the first one in how long, Trent?
Since 2012, so 3 years.
And mind you, at the time, the claim was that the hair was being grown out for the Halloween costume.
Yeah, I think that's what it was. I don't remember.
Yeah, and it was, if I remember correctly, the costume was the comic book guy from The Simpsons.
Yeah, I did that in 2013. That was the last time I think before, something like that. Who knows?
That's the last time I had fun on Halloween. Well, that was the last time.
Halloweens are the worst.
Really? Why is that?
Fuck yeah. You got, I don't know, people make a big deal out of holidays, and they're not. They're not big deals. They're just, everyone comes in expecting free shit at the comic book shop.
Why, just because it's Halloween?
Yeah, well, because there's an industry standard now that's the second free comic book day after Batman Day, which is the third free Batman or comic book day. Ugh.
Okay, hold on. Let's rewind, because I saw this last weekend, right?
Yeah.
I think that was the claim, or 2 weekends ago. And suddenly, it just seemed like it came out of nowhere. Suddenly, it's Batman Day, right?
Yep, they did it last year, too.
What is this? I've never heard of this before.
Yeah, it's just Diamond and DC get together and decide, hey, let's have a Batman Day, and then tell everyone that they can go to their comic book shop and pick up a free Batman comic book.
Well, okay, fine. And I'm sure you at least had some dead stock that you could offer up to the sacrificial gods.
I refuse to do it.
Alrighty. Well, you know what? I'm fully supporting you on this because I firmly believe that if the industry says, let's come up with a day where we're going to give away comics for free, those truly should be free comics. Everyone should be as equally invested in the venture. So,
totally.
It shouldn't trickle down to the comic books to having to write off those particular purchases in their advertising expense.
Yeah, let them do the write-off. Don't make me buy it and then have to have that money tied up until I do my taxes again, and having spent the money and just hope that I've not made enough that I need the non-taxable income.
It's bullshit. They shouldn't be expecting you to absorb the cost.
Yeah, but I mean it's the way whatever. It is what it is. I just don't do it. So that's my take on your free. Well, and I'm also assuming that like my home, like Logan, is a little bit different than most comic book shops. I hear that from a lot of people actually, where I've bitched about it, and they're like, "What? No, like how can someone go into a comic book shop and not spend money?" And I'm like, you'd be surprised.
Well, I unfortunately I think what we're seeing here. We're seeing that unfortunate circumstance where you, sir, are just way too familiar with how the sausage is made now.
That's true.
You know what I mean?
It is true.
You're kind of like, why the fuck does whereas before, just, a scant, like 5 years ago, right?
Yeah.
You were like, I'm going to go down to the comic shop to get my free comic day comics.
Yeah, free comic books.
Yeah, right? You were all for it.
But I was also dropping $100 a month in comics too.
Holy shit! At that point, you're like, no, it's not too bad of an expense for you to give me a free comic book.
Yeah.
I think it sucks, dude. Because I really feel like at that point, then they're creating a Hallmark holiday for comic books.
No, that's all it is. Yep, that's exactly all it is.
That is all they're doing, and it's fucking bullshit.
Yeah.
Completely and totally.
Yeah, which is why there are some celebrity outlets that you will not see during Free Comic Book Day. And that's all I'll say about that.
Yeah, exactly. No, I have no idea what you mean. That's the problem. If I listen back, will I understand more?
Maybe if you listen to Tesdy.
Oh, okay. You know what? I try to. But, I don't necessarily get to listen to all the podcasts I want.
Right, yeah. I don't think any of us do.
No. Well, that's because there's so many damn podcasts out there now.
There's so many to choose from. Kevin's on 5 every week.
By the way, I just want to let everybody know Never mind. I'm not going to say anything. Never mind. Boy, it's just look. Can I be honest? Can we all be honest?
Yeah, let's put it on Front Street.
All right. Tonight feels very awkward for me because it's late at night. It's the first night back after 2 weeks,
and like we're kind of like got in like the smooth sensations of doing it like mid-afternoon, which is glorious.
Oh my gosh, right? I mean, it's like I'm almost, in a way, I am almost anger fucking this episode. Right now.
Like, oh, you like that podcast, huh? Plenty more where that
No,
came
it's not
from.
even that. No, it's not. No, it's not even like that. It's just like, gotta do a fucking podcast. I mean, and I don't have to though. That's the thing. Anyway.
Yeah.
It's just circumstances what they were. I had to come in to be able to rewire everything, and naturally, nothing fucking works.
Yeah,
it's the story, but we're a tech podcast.
But dude, rewiring because dude, you were in Vegas recording, dude.
Actually,
recording with the Kevin Smith, dude.
Actually, this too was one of the trips where it was like literally the least amount of contact with him. But it was only, I mean, it's not like suddenly I'm being shunned and put in the penalty box.
No, it's just that he's like, yeah, fucking Will's got it covered, dude. He doesn't need me to hold his hand.
Well, actually, it was more to the point. Mere days before, we were discussing how you were in a conversation with Alan Tudyk, and then somebody else came up, and so you're like being hyper aware, right?
Yeah, totally. Yeah. You're just like, gotta keep my shit together, dude. Gotta keep my shit together.
Yeah, well, so it was just the kind of thing where it's like, okay, well, I have talked to them about what it is I'm going to be doing. I officially don't have a reason to be back here, so I think I will leave, kind of thing.
Yeah. Don't be underfoot.
Yeah, so that's what I did. And so I spent a lot of time in the booth, but my other favorite thing to do, and by the way, I got to thank the Sean Bus and Big Bad Jimmy V and Hitch Bat for some amazing tacos right before the Hollywood Babylon show.
Yeah. Speaking of Mexican eats.
It was and you know what? There were some pretty decent tacos. It was just they ordered too many too. But anyway, they were nice enough to supply me with some food because it was between like sound check and actual starting time. But when I wasn't doing the show, my favorite thing now, Trent, is to just people watch in the casino.
Oh my gosh, casinos they're like Comic-Con for people who aren't in on the joke.
I kid you not. I'm not kidding. Because the whole thing was at the Hard Rock Cafe and Casino, right?
Yeah.
And it was just an interesting atmosphere, to say the least.
Oh.
Because there were like, and my wife even said, "Why are you talking about all the drunk girls?" Because it wasn't.
Because there are.
Because they make such a fucking spectacle of themselves. Is why. Like literally a quartet of girls coming back, I'm guessing, from the pool, right?
Yeah.
But looking like, and I don't know if they were with the hotel or what, but looking like they were expecting to walk into a Motley Crue video next.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like
girls.
There's no reason you need like, okay, a bikini, a full length like mesh coat, and then a captain's hat actually worn askew.
Well, maybe Tennille was late, and so the captain had to go by herself.
That was no captain, my friend. Anyway, it was an amazing experience, though, just being able to get, like, one of the points, unfortunately, was on the way to sound check, and this was the hardest thing to pull myself away from, Tron. I came off of the elevator, and what I instantly saw was, that dude is very drunk. And then I saw the backside of the girl that he's talking to, and I saw her stumble, and I'm like, she's very drunk. And as I'm going by, I'm hearing her say, "No, you don't understand. It's not like that, okay? It's not." And I'm like,
no,
oh my God.
I don't understand.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm like, oh, I've got to go and I've got to hear this. These are two drunk people having a fight. This is the best. And then I'm like, no, you got something to do.
Yes.
Yeah, but man, that's the thing. That's what I finally made the connection with. I never understood the draw of Las Vegas, but I finally did. It's where adults go to actually feel like they behave like kids again.
Yeah. To where it's like it's totally admissible to be drunk in public. It's oof.
it's okay somewhat to reconnect with your teenage self in public.
Yes. Yep. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, your teenage like I'm a sophomore and want to hang out with the seniors self.
I guess so. I will say though, they got some really nice rooms there.
Oh my God! Well, I mean, depending on where you're at, there's some pretty shitty places, but all in all, it's some great like hospitality. You know what I mean? And the food is always really good too, as far as Vegas goes.
Yeah, definitely. Especially when you roll into any one of those buffets. I mean,
Oh
Lord.
yes, Jesus.
If you and I were in Vegas together, I
Ugh.
believe we could shut one of those buffets down.
Dude, you know what? I have had to like curb my eating down quite a bit lately with the hernia.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I cannot eat nearly what I used to.
Have you been
I can't. It hurts too much.
Does that mean you've been dropping the LBs?
No. I just eat more frequently now.
Oh, okay, very good. So
yeah, I was eating like twice a day. Now I eat like 4 times a day.
now I got to ask you too, to dial back a little bit. How does it feel going from having like over a foot of hair to basically what almost appears to be like a flat top, but you kept your beard?
Yeah. Honestly, it's not that different because I kept my hair like up all the time in like the man bun.
Uh-huh.
So it's not that different. Sleeping is nice.
Oh,
Sleeping
yeah?
is very because it would get so hot, so I'd always have it in an updo, and then it would always like you'd like get on one side and you'd feel that lump back there, and it'd be pulling on your head or whatever. I don't know. So that side is kind of nice. But as far as like, does it feel any less hot or anything? No, because I always had it up.
All right. Well, like, it's nice to know you at least kept it up well.
Yeah, I tried. It made me feel pretty.
Very well, good. I'm glad. But now you just look right now, all you look like you just need a 12-gauge shotgun and a pair of cargo pants, and you're ready to go.
Yeah. That's actually funny. A lot of people have said that, like, man, you look a lot angrier now. I'm like, that's because I am.
No, not angrier, just more militant in a way. I guess that's the best way to put it. A little more militant. By the way, also, to shed a little extra light in our lives, I have fully illuminated Spider-Man's head instead of just the eyes.
Oh,
so
there you go.
A little bit of a change up in the background. So anyway, yeah, Vegas, it was really great though. There were 2 back-to-back shows. There was Hollywood Babylon.
Yeah, you had a Babylon. So you had the he that is the man that we somehow emptied all the monies to record a ad for us.
Oh yeah, Ralph Garman.
The Ralph Garman.
Yeah, and Kevin Smith, and they were dropping their science very well. It was a very great show, and then after that was a very entertaining episode of Get Old.
Oh, nice, hell yeah!
And then it was one of those things, and I've seen this happen a few times, and I never know what to think about it. Okay. It's when you have the lingerers.
Ah, yep, dude, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Except in this case, there were 2 layers of lingerers. There was
lingerers, man.
I know there were indoor. They had both at the outer door lingerers, but then there were inner lingerers as well. Because that's one thing. The vinyl room. Was it in vinyl? Yeah, we were in vinyl. Which that's the other really great thing about these Vegas shows. I really hope they go back. It's all right there. It's all one place, right?
Right. Yeah,
so you can get food, you could gamble, you see the show. I mean, when it comes to a live event, like if you're going to go see a live Smodco show, that's the one you build as your destination one.
Dude, and I honestly believe if the city of Las Vegas or WonderCon or someone wanted to like put San Diego, like give them a run for their money, make a massive con in Vegas, dude. That would be the place to do it.
I literally think you would break reality if you did that.
Because, dude, like it's the city itself is designed for non-walkers, you know what I mean? Or for not having a car, whereas San Diego, like, just you can't, there's no public transit or anything to get from the the airport to the convention center, and it's all congested downtown. Whereas if you had like a few key casinos involved, oh man, you could kill a Comic-Con there. And that's neither here nor there. But yeah, you're right. It's all right there. You don't have to leave for anything.
No, nothing. Not if you don't want to.
Yeah,
Nothing.
exactly.
And that's the way. That was the one of the great things about it. I literally rolled into town, went straight, got checked in, went downstairs, sound check, got to go back to my room for a little bit, had some tacos, met some people, did the show. I could run back. I mean, it was amazing and so great. I now get why people go to Vegas. And really, if the guys go back, I really want to try and find a way to take my wife too.
Oh, totally. Yeah. Well, and that's the other thing that people, I think Vegas, and they've worked hard to play to both ends, but it's not just the drunken debauchery either, though. You know what I mean? Like, there's great shopping there. Like, you can hang out. The shows alone are fantastic.
Oh yeah, there's a family side to Vegas.
Totally, absolutely.
Here's what we need to put parents like me at ease, okay? We need Vegas Disney. It's that simple.
Oh my gosh, dude, you're right. And it was still.
And what it is it doesn't have to be a full park, but what it is, it's just like the cruises. They have very well watched, chaperoned things for the children to go do.
Yep.
So that way, okay, for the next 2 hours, we can go be adults.
Yep. No, it's seriously like, and it wouldn't have to be much. You just have one hotel that's just Hotel Disney in Vegas, or you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's all you need.
Gosh, that's
all you need. Well, Trent, you know me, I'm always more than willing to offer up the ideas nobody's asked for most of the time nor wanted.
Yeah, but that's, whatever.
Oh, by the way, too, one of the things that I think you'll get a kick out of this. So one of the things that they talked about on Babylon last weekend at the Vegas show, and it was actually there. So this guy got a funny idea. Originally, it was done as an homage parody, in my opinion, but who knows? You remember Hitchbot, right?
Oh, totally. Yeah.
So a guy in Los Angeles was coming up with Hitchbat. And
okay.
And he was going to go from Los Angeles to Philly and, to be the hitchhiking robot we all need.
Oh, geez.
Right. And then... but he also was going extremely low tech. It wasn't going to have the AI because that's, that's why Hitchbot got jacked, folks. If you don't know already, it had a modified iPad in it. So
and they're like, wait, what? Well, I can get a free iPad? Sweet.
Yeah, I'm gonna break this bucket open like a mother trucker.
Yeah.
But the other thing too, he did some smart thing because it's Hitchbat. It looks very Batman inspired.
Yeah.
And it's originally they were going to do that. They were just going to see if it can get from here to there. But instead, something happened along the way. And I love this part of the story. They suddenly realized that this little painted bucket, right, was like a genie in a bottle.
It'll rub you the right way, baby.
Oh, yeah. No, like they took it somewhere, right? Just like to the car museum, and suddenly they're letting the Hitchbat take pictures with all the cars.
Sure.
One of the other things too, like they went to an islands right after they had taken the Hitchbat around to try and help get comics gathered up for a comic book comic group they're working with. Okay. They get donated comics and then give them to critical care facilities for children.
Awesome. That's a good idea. Holy shit, that's a great idea.
Right. Well, so they were working with the Hitchbat in line with that to talk around schools and stuff too. And so they went to islands, and that's a restaurant, by the way, like a burger joint. They gave them 50 passes to also give to people for this, for like free meals. So they suddenly realized, okay, maybe instead what we do is we use this as a philanthropic tool for people in need. So they were working with this particular comics group, and they're just trying to do all kinds of different things. So now the idea behind Hitchbat, I believe, well, at least the last time I talked to him, was that we're going to take the Hitchbat. And, the thing is, Hitchbat will make a journey out there. But the idea is that you help Hitchbat get somewhere to do some good. So you're going to take it around.
So, And so it's not just like a social experiment, but it's a philanthropic experiment.
Exactly. Let's see what we can do. And interestingly enough, just from the news story alone getting covered by Hollywood Babylon listeners, the particular comics group that they were working with has been receiving comic book donations from all over the country.
No, that's brilliant, dude. That's such a good idea.
All from, by the way, folks, that wonderful thing that some people still don't understand called a podcast.
Yeah. A what now?
Exactly.
What? What's that?
Yeah. Just actually, I think one of the people that put it best to me was Matt Myrie. He's just like, thank God for Serial, because now people know what we're talking about.
Yeah, kind of though, kind of.
Yeah,
still, because like Serial was still like, it was so public radio influenced that everyone just thinks that it's like a public, like an NPR thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. They're like, no, I don't listen to NPR. No, it was like, a podcast.
Nothing to do with it. But yeah, I know, but like Serial though, right? You're like, yeah but not. And they're like, oh, so what are you covering? Is there like a new case you're covering? No, like that's just one type of one show. They're not all like that. Oh, so what is a podcast then?
No, we talk about comics and butt stuff.
Oh, gosh.
That's what we do.
Well, that sounds awful. I'm like, yeah, it is.
That's why it's not called Serial.
Yeah, exactly. Unless we did a podcast that was just about like Captain Crunch.
Oh yeah,
Count Chocula and Boo Berry. All the classic General Mills cereals.
And then to use a Kevin Smith colloquialism, then finally takes us to get to the 100th episode where I finally am like, fruit. You know what? I got to be honest. Fuck Fruit Loops. There, I said it.
It's true. And I'll say the same thing about Captain Crunch. They both destroy your mouth, man. They turn the inside of your mouth into raw hamburger.
They do. That's why, though, by the way, one of the greatest gifts from heaven, like sweet manna from heaven, my friend. Oops, nothing but crunch berries.
Right.
Am I right?
Yeah. Yep.
Hey, by the way, everybody's talking about it, so we may as well. So about the Burger King black bun burgers, right?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
By the way, can I just tell you right now how much I love the fact that people are combining in their conversations right now black buns and poop. Mm-hmm. I love it. You know what I'm talking about?
Because the rest of us have been in these special internet rooms for a while. Like, catch up.
No. So have you heard about this though?
Yeah,
basically.
Well, and here's the thing. So essentially, like, the idea is that it turns your shit green, right?
Yes, or garbage in, garbage out, people.
Yeah, like I'm just saying, like that's like I feel like there's a lot of qualifiers. Like, this is not a double-blind study because someone that's eating the Halloween hamburger is probably also eating a lot of other weird stuff that's gonna make that. And it's Burger King. Like, did we look at our shit when we were eating regular Whoppers? Guess what? It probably looked just as bad, if not worse.
Yeah, but this we're talking about like a bright blue-green. In other words,
really?
It basically looks like you squashed and crapped out a Smurf.
What?
It's for some people. But you know what? Hey, look, the reason why I brought this up at this time is because many, many years ago, Trent, I was a big fan of those little funny blue people known as Smurfs.
Yeah.
And as a kid, I myself actually purchased the Smurf Berries cereal.
I remember this, yes.
It had a heavily purple dyed... Yep. So let me just say, I had some firsthand experience decades ago on this.
Oh, of a similar Smurfect.
And I will tell you right now, the moment I saw those hamburger buns, I said, that's going to change the color of your shit.
Bad things are going to happen.
That's going to fuck your shit up. And it literally did.
But the idea behind the bun is it's A1 sauce, right? That gives it the dark color.
No, it's still food. They just wanted to make a novelty black bun.
Okay. I thought they were using A1 sauce as like the coloring agent as well.
No, Trent, as a matter of fact, if you want to think about it, what happens is they realize, okay, guys, we're giving them a bun that we're dosing with like 500 million times more food coloring than it needs.
Than it should ever have.
We need to give this a flavor so that they believe that's the reason why it's black.
Yeah. Yep.
That's my opinion.
Yeah,
here's the other thing too, folks. If you walk into a Burger King and you're knowingly buying a product that is presenting a breaded product that in no way, shape, or form has ever come in the color that you're receiving.
Yeah.
Is it really time to get judgy about the end product, if you will?
Yeah, exactly. Like you're participating in in like a social science experiment and like a health experiment at the same time. You can't be all upset when your poop is a weird color.
Now, here's the thing, too, Trent. In this litigious society we are in, I'm relatively certain that it's okay for me to make the statement that more than likely, somewhere in the Burger King corporate offices, multicolored shit was actually a topic of conversation.
No, it came up. You know for a fact it came up. And
not only that, folks, it legitimately was weighed as a pro versus con, and the pros outweighed this.
Oh yeah, there was absolutely a cost analysis sheet done on this where they're just like, well, you know, if we've there's a chance that people might be upset, but I mean, it changes the color, but does it change? And they had to have done studies on the poo. You know
then another guy comes running and says, sir, we just ran the numbers. We guarantee with an 85% probability, if the internet starts talking about this, sales will quadruple.
Yep, exactly. Because then people are like, well, it's something I can take home with me and try out.
And now we just fed the machine by being part of it, man. And is Burger King paying us anything? No.
Well, and the thing is, though, I think Japan already has I want to say it's a Big Mac that's black like this.
Mm-hmm.
Like this is something that has like the homework has already been done.
Right.
There. And it sells pretty regularly, if I remember right. Like it's not like a novelty thing. And I don't understand, you know, because it's a different culture and one that I really don't understand. I've been watching a lot of animes and really don't understand what's going on there.
I'm like, I've tried, I've looked. I just don't understand what's going on.
Yeah.
I have honestly, I have to admit, I've watched virtually no anime. I think the closest that I probably could come to watching something you might say I would follow, which was like Star Blazers, I think was the name of it, right?
Yeah.
Which was the adaptation of Starship Yamamoto. Yep. I think, yeah. Which, by the way, they did another movie on, I think, sometime in the 2000s, didn't they?
Oh, I don't know.
I think they did. And it looked, at least the I don't know, I hope it wasn't a fan trailer, but what I saw looked really damn good. But you know what? That's neither here than there. Trent, have we even talked about the fact that the Doctor has returned?
I don't think we have. This third episode came out this week.
Fourth.
There you go.
They're 4 in now, my friend. And I got to tell you, on the first 4, they really screwed with us because it was a 2-parter in both cases. But paid off very well in both cases. So far, I cannot think of it, because you know what? That 3rd or 4th episode is always a stinker.
Is it?
Usually, yeah. There's, because, you know, you think about it, like the season 5, it was Revenge of the Daleks. Season 6, it was like the pirate one, I think.
Yeah.
Right. So like a pattern started, but in this, we had a good, strong start. Things were a little friendlier. I really wish you were watching it, because man, I think it's some good quality writing right now.
Yeah, I don't know, and I don't know if it's just the fact that pretty much everyone that comes into the comic book shop and talks about how much they love Doctor Who are kind of like the worst people on earth, or yeah, I don't know. I'm completely just not interested in Doctor Who anymore.
You know what? I fully respect that, and now I'm really starting to think I really need to look a lot more at what I do in life.
I don't know. It's just and I don't get me wrong, I love Jenna Louise Coleman. Like I love Jenna Louise Coleman, you know, but not even she has been able to get me interested in it.
Yeah, well, you know what? You're a man of certain interests and things going on in your life, and you have to be selective about what you watch.
Well, and maybe, who knows? Maybe I'll go back later and enjoy it. But for right now, I don't think I would enjoy it.
Dude, I got to tell you, that's what binging is for. I just since the time we last talked, Trent.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, only 2 weeks ago, right? Only 2 weeks. In that time, I have watched all 23 episodes of the season 1 of The Flash.
Oh, yeah. What'd you think?
I think that first of all, it's an amazing rewrap of Smallville. It's a great job. You know, they reworked the engine a little bit.
Yep.
Maybe a little.
They allowed, you know, the tights and capes to be seen.
Yeah, but other than that, I mean, it's got it. Boy, does it feel like it's from the same people that brought you Smallville. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I only mean that in just the mild melodrama sense that it has. Other than that, structurally speaking, it is one of the finest comic book TV shows I've ever seen.
Really?
Here's the reason why I say that, because even the episodes themselves, up until the end of the season, where everything is coming together, right?
Yeah.
Like the last 6 don't have this. Just like a comic book, it's got its it's just like a TV show. It's got its 3-act structure. But then for every episode, there are what in comic books would be the elusive extra 2 pages of panels,
okay.
where they're using something that's not going to pay off for some time to come.
Right. Yeah. There's just a little nod to be like, pay attention to this. It's important.
Case in point, they teased like at least 4 times during the season, and it doesn't pay off until like episode 20. Grodd. They teased him like, because his cage was in the season opener. There are 2 stingers that involved Grodd, and then there was the Grodd episode. So they teased it 3 times before it paid off. But you know, you saw little bits here and there, and
a little bit.
Very well done as a comic book structure. Also, and this is the great thing about binging as well, I didn't get to see it in the way that it aired. However, I still could identify certain elements, like, okay, this one must have been right before the winter break because of what happens in it. But in that first season, they just the most amazing thing, I think, is the stuff that people are probably still even talking about, because they get into the show itself starts with a story that's very similar to Flashpoint, to be honest.
Oh, okay.
Because it revolves around Barry's mother's death.
Yeah. Like being murdered, but not by his father.
Exactly. Even though his father goes to jail for it, and yada yada.
He still, you know, he says, "I believe you, Dad." Like it wasn't you.
Yeah, I saw some stuff there that night. So, but they even get into time travel in this one. You know, by the 13th episode, for that winter break, there was a big, some serious shit happened, and then you know, during a time of crisis where Barry is really running, boom, suddenly he jumps back about 24 hours or 2 days.
Yeah.
Right, because he's going back and forth trying to stop a tsunami from hitting the coast, and in doing that, he enters the Speed Force. As case in point, it's really well structured show. Really, they did a really great job with who their big bad was in the first season. And you know, the other thing about it is that like I'm sure you heard that the antagonist was who was it? The Reverse Flash.
Oh, okay, Reverse Flash, sure.
So in finding out Barry's identity, the Reverse Flash comes back to kill Barry as a child to undo him ever being done, right?
Oh, sure. So then he never has to have that
Right.
problem.
Now, however, and this is a little spoilery, so if you haven't caught up on the Flash yet, oh well, but Trent doesn't live in a spoiler world, so that's the way you're gonna live.
You get it. You get it that way, folks.
Yeah, so
trust me, life is a lot better once you accept it.
Anyway, in the Reverse Flash going back in time and using all of his energy, he also fully depleted himself of the Speed Force. So he could now not return. So now he is like 136 years in the past as far as he's concerned. And he knows all of the elements that lead up to creating the Flash. So he now tries to put them on an accelerated program.
To get it happening much sooner.
Right, which ends up, once the entire thing plays out, at that point, if you stop and look at the way that their rules of time travel are, Reverse Flash actually is the one that created the Flash, including the very Flash that he's fighting.
Yeah, now see, and that's, oh man, that's interesting that they would go into the time travel so early on, because a lot of, TV shows, that's something you always like. Look at Doctor Who in particular. You know, you sometimes you've got to have these very defined rules before you jump into it.
Right.
Otherwise, you write yourself into some pretty weird holes.
Yeah, definitely. And this one, people even have that because long story short, somebody ends up killing themselves, and that has ripple effects against the antagonist because now they never existed because
Right.
this was one of their ancestors. However, they're not completely reversed or erased from existence, because if they did, the very thing that created the Flash wouldn't have existed, this big particle accelerator, right?
Right.
So obviously then, and by the way, yes, I do waste way too much time thinking about this kind of crap. So basically, instead of being reversed from existence, because of their rules are based on causality. So
Okay.
up until the point where the event doesn't happen, things can carry out. Once the event has happened, things can be undone, but everything before that still happens. So there's
Right.
still an alternate universe where Reverse Flash comes back from and finds himself stuck and now has to go ahead and make himself a Flash earlier, so creates a new timeline. And in that timeline, that's the way the Flash was created.
Oh, really?
Yes. And so, because you can't have this big, if that person never existed, then they never came back. They never started this whole timeline.
Right. Yeah.
So in other words, yeah, somebody can be undone from this point, but once something is done, it's done.
Well, yeah. I mean, that it's the idea of like fixed points in reality that will find a way to happen no matter what.
Well, the other thing they did that I thought that was interesting, they even alluded to his accidental travel back in the beginning of the episode, because he's running somewhere, right? And then he looks to his right and he sees himself running next to him. Right? And then that himself fades out and he goes on and he goes through the day. And this is the only point where once something is done, it's done. It isn't, because he does go back and then changes things eventually. But anyway, they did a very interesting thing, because if we think about it, if we think about science fiction in a logical fashion,
well, I mean, and that's what makes science fiction and not fantasy.
Exactly. Thank you very much for helping save me. I fell down. I'm falling down the well, but you're throwing me a lifeline. I appreciate
it.
But in thinking this out, so we would logically say, okay, well, if he did travel back, then there would be two of him, because he would be arriving back at that same point, but he already also came to that same point.
Right, yeah.
But that's where they did an exact reverse of that shot. And so you see Barry running up to himself, who is still going. And then that other Barry fades out. So in other words, the timeline won't allow them to both exist.
To be on top of each other. Yeah.
So now he comes in as himself in the place of himself, if you will.
Okay, sure.
So I think they handled the tricky little situations very well.
Yeah.
The only bummer thing that happens is losing that great character from the first season.
Well, and it's man, and so I jumped on early on and I watched the first few episodes. And then that's right when I was moving out of my old shop, and so I just kind of fell out of it and haven't got back to it. And from what I'd seen, I'd enjoyed. The one thing, and I from what I've heard, it got better. The one thing in those first few episodes that really bothered me, that I shouldn't have let bother me, but I did, was the point where he's running and they have the camera shot right on his face, and you can tell it's just him going like this.
Yeah, definitely.
And, that, you don't even need to show that. You know what I mean? There's ways to camera work that you could use with that. But I mean, and I was told that it got better.
Much.
But those first couple were just oh man, really? Because I mean, you remember the 92, 93
yes,
Flash series, where literally they would just overcrank the camera, and so you would see it speed up as everyone on the side is just walking slower as he's sped up through diving through everyone. Ugh.
Right.
It's really bad.
Yeah, but it was still a comic book show, so I was going to support it.
Oh, of course, yeah, and it had Luke Skywalker as a villain. Of course, we were going to watch it.
Well, and you know what they did in a very interesting way later on in the season is there is a trickster episode.
Is it Mark Hamill?
Well, it starts off with somebody else, but then it turns out that James Jesse. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Anyway,
okay.
it's Jesse James. No. That's the name of the character.
Oh, okay.
That's the trickster. The Mark Hamill trickster is in jail from being the trickster, but
okay.
obviously in a flashless world.
Sure.
Oh, but one other really cool thing that happened is the Silver Ages Flash's helmet came through. The gold one, the metal one with the things.
Yes.
At the point where they're like in the season finale, there's a bunch of time travel stuff that's occurring, right?
Yeah.
And so the villain is getting ready to ride inside of his little bubble because he can't run fast enough to take advantage. So he's got a ship naturally. And then suddenly that hat comes flying out of the vortex and lands.
Oh, that's awesome.
And the one character, Siska, goes, "What's that?" And Reverse Flash says, "That's my cue to leave."
That's awesome. So, I mean, and for those who don't know, the original Flash helmet, because Flash was a Golden Age character that was then put into Silver Age. The original Flash, it's a World War I helmet that was his father's that he wore and then put wings on as he was able to run fast. But yeah, it was, and in Earth 2 and Justice Society, they've done some retcon stuff where it was actual Hermes helmet that he is like the Greek god of speed is given. But right. Yeah, the original one, it's an adapted World War I helmet. So like the British World War I, even the American British or American World War I helmets, they're all kind of flat out like that.
Well, not only is he going to be on this season, but I think we're also going to see Wally West.
Oh, yes, finally.
Yeah, so there's going to be 3 Flashes this season.
Good.
So that's kind of cool. And I think what they did, the other thing too that I heard that I guess the lead of Arrow said, he said basically they're both the same show. In other words,
totally. Yeah.
They're just different windows into the universe, but they've done a really good job of setting a lot of stuff up.
It's every show on the CW.
Mm-hmm. So they
Vampire Diaries or they're all the same show. It's all the same format.
No, but I think what they literally mean is that if you exist in their universe, even though you're on another show, they're still all written as one big piece of continuity.
Oh, and they've had crossovers for that.
Yeah, they have, and as a matter of fact, there was even a villain on like the penultimate episode. I'm like, who the hell is that? And then I figured, oh, there's probably something that happened in Century City that I didn't see or whatever it is.
Exactly. Yep.
Starling City or whatever they call it.
Yeah, and we will see in this season of Arrow, we will see Constantine show up.
Oh, that's right. I heard about that.
Yeah, which I have mixed feelings about. Like, part of, I think the beauty of that show was its rogues gallery, which if it's only Constantine, we're definitely not going to get to see, sadly.
Mm-hmm. Oh, it's going to be, and again, that's another one of those. It's just too bad kind of things. If Constantine had been on the CW, you could have teamed that up on the same night as Supernatural and just
totally. Yep.
It would have been like Demon Knight on.
Well, NBC was just not the place for that. I like, had it been on Showtime, HBO, anywhere else, I think it could have been, I don't know, so great. Or at least just stayed on. It was that first season was really, really good.
Yeah, I don't mean to be so TV focused this episode, but another thing too that came back, and I was willing to give it a chance. Yeah. I was willing to let it ride. I said, "Okay, Heroes Reborn."
Yeah.
You had time off. You had to think. You got to think about what you were doing, right?
Yeah.
Literally by the end of the first night of 2 episodes, I'm like, "All right, tapping out."
Really?
It's just one of those things. And okay, I'll probably get caught back up on it. I'll give it more of a chance. But by the end of the second part, I think, of the 2-parter of the night, you've literally got a couple of the antagonists gaining access to a list of they're calling them enhanced or evos, or for evolved humans, evos. Yeah. And these particular people are going around killing evos, and they just happen to steal the one car that has the list of evos. You know what I mean? It's just like a little too on the nose for me.
Right.
And then they have this other thing too, where there's this Japanese girl who, when she holds what looks like Hanzo's sword or whoever it was, she can transport in and out of some video game.
Oh, like a weird version of Katana then, or
Kinda. It just is. It's one of those things where you're like, what the flunk is that?
yeah.
So I don't know. I maybe once it's done the whole run, I'll check it out. But I still don't watch Arrow, which is why I probably originally avoided the Flash a little bit.
Right. Likewise. And I've had so many, because I tried really hard to watch that first season of The Arrow and then just gave up. And everyone has said, no, you got to stick through. It pays off. And I haven't been able to do it. And I like Steve Amell. I mean, he did an awesome job on, he's been on a performer with the WWE. They had some crossover stuff where he, as like the actor Steve Amell, came on and fought against Dusty Rhodes' son.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome stuff. The guy, like, he's a legit actor. Like, he made the WWE guys like show how not actory they are. Like, it was great.
Wow.
Yeah,
Oh,
I've got no reason, not to watch it. I should.
Mm-hmm. Just don't.
Yeah, I just haven't.
Yeah, but the way the structure, and for all I know, Arrow is the same way. But really, even the way that they present the Flash, I mean, it plays out in the 3-act structure. But then the teasing thing at the end of the episodes was just really good. I think I would recommend it. The only thing that's bad, look, you end up, folks, at the very end of the pilot episode, you're given the first hint that Tom Cavanaugh's character is not the good guy.
Right. Oh yeah, I did see that first episode. It's very clear.
Yeah. So he's the bad guy. They tip the hat on that in the very beginning. But the only bummer is that with him being the bad guy, his character is also just so, if you take that whole bad guy aspect away and you just focus on the mentoring aspect of it,
yeah,
it is a great character to have around.
Right.
And holy shit, I want them to bring him back. Yeah, sure. I'm sure they got plans and they're doing things, but I want them to bring him back.
Yeah.
But but there's no way it can be him because it's not him. You know what I mean? From this point, for whether it's an alternate timeline or something else, it's not the same experience.
Yeah. Oh,
that's just me. It was too early, Trent. Too soon.
Too soon. Well, and but the idea is you've got time travel. So who's to say that they can't go back even further? You know what I mean? Like, it's kind of limitless what you can do.
Yeah, definitely. Speaking of which, Trent.
Yes.
Since we have last spoken, Rick and Morty has completed its second season.
It's all done.
Have you seen it end to end?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Oh, my Lord. Sweet Jiminy Christmas. What an amazing season finale.
Yeah. Oh, it was so great. Oh, how about that, huh? Didn't expect that to happen, did you, huh?
No, not at all.
Wonder if Rick's going to get out of this or not, huh?
Yeah. I don't know what you're talking about, man. Oh, boy. Yeah, that was really something that none of us, I think, saw coming. And again, spoilers, folks, but you know what? It's the world we live in, so deal with it. One of the things that I realized, though, about Rick and Morty, no matter what they have done since Rick Potion number 9, is almost irrelevant, because if you think about it, all Rick has to do is find out how he, of the universe they escaped to, uncronenberged everything, and he could put his original world back together and re-enter those lives.
There, but there would only be his family.
No, because he could uncronenberg. Well, unless Jerry's really been on one hell of a Cronenberg ass kicking trip.
Well, but the thing is that they've killed a ton of people. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, that's true too.
Well,
the reason why I'm saying this is because the events of everything that's going on Rick and Morty now are them having traversed into another reality.
Right.
So in other words, there was some shocking shit that happened in the final episode. Turns out, they get invited to Bird Person's wedding to Tammy, and suddenly halfway through the episode, we find out Tammy's working for the galactic government.
A bitch.
Oh no, right?
Yeah.
Kills Bird Person.
Maybe. We don't know if he's dead or not.
Dude, he looked pretty dead. But again,
Yeah, we don't know.
he is, but he isn't, because if you think about it, in Cronenberg Earth reality, Bird Person never comes for a party, never meets Tammy.
But that's after Rick posted number 9. We've never met Bird Person like from that reality.
Exactly, but he still exists.
Maybe,
right?
We don't know.
No, he does. He does.
We don't know that. We didn't see him until after that episode had ended.
But Rick knows him so well in Squanchy, and there's the pictures of them back in the day during Show Me What You've Got, Get Swifty.
But maybe this Rick is just posturing the whole time. Maybe this Rick has never even been there. Maybe this Rick has never had any of those experiences.
Oh, you think he's the oh god, what is it he says in the very first episode? Like the wrinkle sling of making up things and pretending to know what they're talking about? Yeah,
exactly. Like we don't know.
Okay, well, I'll let you run with that, but I'm relatively certain that Squanchy and Bird Person are a part of Rick's life from the reality that they left because they Cronenberged it.
Especially having listened to the commentary from the first season. I think you are thinking about this more than they do when they write it.
Oh no, definitely. I'm sure we have, because seriously, how deep undercover do you have to be for Tammy to have done the things she had done?
Well, I mean, just like to know that like the idea for Meeseeks came from, I don't fucking care what we call the character. We could just say it like, I don't know, I'm Mr. Meeseeks, look at me. And then they decided that that's what they were going to do.
And it played.
They were just mad and wanted to go home. And so they had to get something done.
Well, speaking of which, the episode that was before this one, which was like, look who's, what is it, purging, right? Or look who's purging now, or whatever it is. That episode ended up getting written because Harmon and Royland sat down to do the 2-part finale, and they just weren't getting anywhere. And they're like, "What about that purge thing? Why don't we write that one?" I'm like, we can't do that. It's like, fuck, what? Why can't we? And they did.
I remember watching that, thinking like, they absolutely, like, when this was written, someone had just watched The Purge, or someone had like walked in on someone else watching The Purge, and they're like, wait a second, are you watching The Purge? Well, yeah, but I mean, it's like, it's fun. Like, it was like a shameful thing. Like,
yeah,
the Purge did it, so, it's a thing.
But I love the way that entire episode itself played out as well. Only because it was, in some ways, it felt like the B story felt like an extra bit that was left over from the improv episode.
Yeah.
With is it Taddy Mason? Is Taddy Mason on the phone? And my favorite part of that whole thing is Rick saying, "Yes, it's me, Taddy Mason, calling on the Galactic Star phone."
Yeah.
I can't tell if you're being sarcastic or not. Jerry's response is what made that exchange perfect. But then the payoff of that being in the stinger, that's the reason why I'm like, that was so well written. Because otherwise, there's no other reason to have the entire B story where everyone's just telling Jerry to get a job because he's trying to create drama just so there's something entertaining in his life.
Right. Well, and especially if you watch them back to back, the last thing that is said in the episode before that is, Jerry, get a job. And then the first thing that's said in the next episode is, Jerry, get a job.
And then one of the last things that's said in the episode is Jerry getting a job.
Yep.
And boy, is he happy for it.
Yeah.
Also, the other interesting thing about it, if you way overthink it, which we know we are now, because Trent has the science, he's seen the technology. The fact that the episode that opened the season, which gave us an open window into Rick's potential humanity actually being there, in going after the Morty that's following through Schrodinger's cats, it resurfaced again in the latter part of this episode, where Rick, rather than taking the selfish way of sticking his family on Tiny Earth,
right?
Which, by the way, I love the way that the perspectives are just no way consistent, and nobody cares.
Yeah, so like sometimes it's you're filling up a whole hemisphere, and other times you can't even see the other side of the hemisphere.
Yeah, exactly. But that's neither here nor there. But also a great bit with Morty playing frisbee with himself.
Yes. Oh gosh, yes.
But anyway, Rick actually doing the right thing and turning himself in so his family can get their life back.
Yeah. What are you in for? Everything.
Everything. That was pretty well. It was pretty again uncharacteristic and interesting. I also loved the stinger that you already alluded to with Mr. Poopy Butthole. Like, boy, I don't know. And then even telling us, I guess we won't find out for another year and a half.
Yeah,
maybe
and they
more.
talk about how like they never really know like when the episode like it's gonna come back out.
Well, but that's what happens with Adult Swim. Case in point, Trent, when was the last time we saw Venture Brothers?
Well, and the problem with Venture Brothers is you have two dudes making that.
Yeah. But you see, the whole point is it's been so long since we had the last 8 episodes, you don't even remember.
Oh yeah, the last thing we had was the Halloween special 2 years ago.
Was that it? I don't even know anymore. It's been so long. That's the problem with these cartoons.
Yeah.
They're good, but unless you buy them for consumption at home as well, you don't revisit them and you fucking forget everything that happened.
Well, and which I think duly is a testament to how great the Simpsons are for as long as they've been able to do it and as consistent as they've been able to do it with a schedule. And then on top of it, how great South Park is to do it even faster and more consistently than anyone out there.
Yeah, that's true. In other words, they're definitely, boy, how often they got to recycle those writing rooms. You know what I mean?
Oh my gosh, yeah, I can't even imagine.
But then you got to think Rick and Morty and Venture Brothers, those are being done on an Adult Swim budget. So it's on an Adult Swim kind of schedule too. You know what I mean?
Yeah, totally. Absolutely. Yeah.
Well, because
and like in the commentary, they talk about how in the first season there's that is it the DMX song that they used for the montage where they're working out?
Yeah, X gonna give it to you.
That they pretty much that was almost their entire budget was the rights to use that song.
We actually would have had a 16 episode season.
Yeah,
however,
seriously, like kind of that's what they were alluding to.
That's what happens though, man. That's why you don't use music. By the way, did you hear the Supreme Court or somebody they've determined that Happy Birthday to You is public domain now?
Yes. Sorry, Warner Brothers, eat a dick.
Yeah, pretty much. That's kind of a bold. You know what? At the moment where Warner Brothers tried to claim they owned it, really at that point they should have said, "And we will gift it to the world." Yeah,
well, and the thing, don't even get me started on copyright law. Like it changes every time that Disney has property that is up for review. Like every single time, that's when the lobbying comes out, and it's just fuck it so much.
Well, yeah, because look at everything that Disney has to lose, though. I mean, but I don't even understand how it works. Like Mickey Mouse is a very old creation at this point, right?
Yeah. 1932, I think.
But if they consistently use it, can it ever truly enter the public domain? How does it work?
Popeye enters the public domain this year.
That's it. After this, anyone can make something Popeye.
Yep.
I want to draw gay Popeye with gay Bluto and just
you could do that already under parody law.
Well, I know, but if I was like treating it as like, you know what, in Popeye world, this is canon.
Yeah, this is the way it is, folks. Popeye loves the cock. He doesn't. Olive oil is just his beard.
No, olive oil now has a whole different story.
Yeah, olive oil's a dude.
There you go. I knew you'd get there, just like that. I didn't know that. That's interesting. Even though, like, if somebody did, because it really just feels like if you're the company that owns it and you're also the place that created it, I would think if you kept using your thing, you would be able to retain the rights.
Well, but that's the problem. Is it the company or is it the creator that owned the rights?
Well, in the case, Mickey Mouse is a bad example.
Right.
But, if it's something else, like let's take Batman, for example, and the whole thing that came about with Bill Finger.
Yep.
It's one of those. And boy, I'll tell you, that means if Batman is 75 years old, so like in 25 years, Warner Brothers is going to be shitting a brick.
No, I think that they will own that in perpetuity. That I don't think Batman will ever go into, it's like Mickey Mouse. That'll never reach the public domain ever.
But how do they stop it?
Dude, that which is why you have people who make careers as lawyers in only copyright law.
Yeah, okay, I get it now.
Like there is so much to it that like there's so much into it. Like for example, Chop Shop Zach Knutson did a Q&A with me for our over Skype for a film fest we did here in Logan, and about his Milius film, and which is fantastic. It might still be on Netflix if you haven't seen it. But they use a ton of footage from Apocalypse Now, from Star Wars, from Indiana Jones, from Jaws, from all this stuff that he worked on behind the scenes, and they used it all under the fair use law, which is part of copyright law. And so I said, so basically you just had a lawyer on retainer for the whole project. He said, oh yeah, we had a full-time lawyer working all the time for us to use all this stuff.
Well, yeah, because you'd have to. But that's one of those things. At least they found a way to do it fair use, and I'm sure I still haven't seen it, but I'm sure they have to like put on like who the clip is from when they're showing it, so that way it's
Nope.
Well, good. Fuck them. That's what I say.
Like it was crazy when he started getting into it, and he said there's no way you could do something like that without legal counsel. There's no way.
Oh, definitely not.
Because I mean, just all the letters that had to be sent and people contacted and their legal contacting your legal department and everything. It's crazy.
I wouldn't even begin to know where to begin.
Yeah, neither would I.
And
neither did he. That's the thing. That's why people can make a career out of entertainment law.
And that's
crazy.
And that's the reason why I don't even try to make a movie. Why bother?
Yeah,
too much headache.
Screw it.
Oh, that and I've got no talent and no script, so whatever.
How's that screenplay coming? You working on the screenplay?
Oh yeah, no, yeah, I've got the whole thing. I just haven't written it down yet. Anyway, hey, by the way, any specials, anything to look out for from Death Ray Comics this week?
Just go to our eBay page and buy stuff.
There you go. It's just that easy. So anyway, boy, we ended up talking a lot about TV and other things I never anticipated, but you know what, Trent, I had a good time talking.
Yeah, me too.
And you know what, by the way, I know we acknowledged last episode as well when Matt Myra was joining us. I'm sorry, did you just hear a name drop? I think I did. I saw that. We alluded to it. A lot of our fans were nice enough to send well wishes, and I think we're going to save the next episode for listening to those, just because I really wanted to have an opportunity to talk to my friend more than anything else.
Like well wishes for what?
Huh?
Well, like well wishes for what?
I didn't say well wishes.
Yeah, you did.
I did when?
Like literally 2 seconds ago. A lot of our fans sent well wishes.
Oh, well wishes for the I'm sorry. For the 200th episode.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, because they're like, congratulations, you guys made it. But we're just like, it's another podcast.
Yeah, they're like, oh, it's 200 this week? Sweet.
it was only coincidental that I was able to surprise Trent with a special guest.
Oh yeah, it was awesome. Loved it.
Yeah, but it wasn't in any way, shape, or form like, oh, because it's 200, let's get. I'm like, last minute, I'm like,
it wasn't because like we've got longtime friend of the show, Matt Myra, joining
not
us.
At all. God, no.
But I mean, he did it like, and a testament. This is where someone is going to go far in just in being a human being, but also in the entertainment industry. He did homework. You know what I mean? You asked him to come on, and he was like, he listened to a couple episodes. So
yeah, he's like, I understand what I'm getting into. I can roll with this.
Yeah, he's like, okay, I'm definitely not biting off more than I can chew for this.
Well, it's kind of like when I guested on both That Man on Fat Man and on Dr. Squeeze Doctor Who podcast. I'll admit it. I did not have the opportunity to listen to any of their stuff at a time, but it wasn't because I'm an asshole. I just there's only so much time. But it was like literally a stupid move, and there have been times since then where I've been asked for interviews. And I've done them, and I'm instantly that was a waste of time.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Completely and totally. And maybe if I had done my homework, that wouldn't have been so bad.
Yeah. Well,
right.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. Every bit of it.
You win, you lose.
I don't know. Anyway, folks. So we'll listen to those next time, and then we'll do our thing. But we got to wrap this up. It's too late. I got to work tomorrow, and Trick's got to move them sausages.
Yeah,
so
gotta do some. We all got shit to do.
Yeah. So anyway, folks, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for listening. Next time, my name is Will.
And my name's Trent.
And you've been listening to another edition of NetHeads on only available on one site. And what is that, Trent?
That's smodcast.com.
This is NetHeads with Will Wilkins and Trent Hunsaker signing off.
I know, right? But stop being a little Nancy and deal with it.
NetHeads. We'll be back soon.
Goodbye.
Oh, I thought I had put in the whistle thing too, but I guess I didn't.
There,
Yeah,
I did
whatever. Thank you. I appreciate that. I can drop it in post. Wow. I really enjoyed that conversation, man.
Good.
This was one of those moments we just come into it and we're like, okay, these things happen. We can talk about them.
Yeah.
I don't know what we're going to do.
We'll roll with it.
It's not 2:00 in the afternoon. I don't know.
Roll with the homies.
Trent's like, I've been sitting around. Nobody told me there's an invite waiting. What the
Yeah,
fuck?
what's happening? I don't even know where we are.
I don't know well, I know it's true. It's because it's like you don't know. It's like, wait, should I be on poor Trent? He's sitting over there. Wait, should I be on Skype? Is there you streaming YouTube? What's going on? And I'm just sitting here going, I gotta get all the wires plugged in at the last minute. I gotta plug it all in.
Is it working yet?
It's not
And
working.
I'm like, I don't know. I can't feel you put it in yet.
That's right, because we're streaming and you shouldn't, right?
No,
you know that.
I hope not.
You hope not what?
Then I can't feel it.
Oh, okay.
If I had to feel it every time, that would get weird.
It really would. That's like the shock feature on your game controller.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you want to feel it.
Yeah,
right?
you want to feel a little pushback once in a while.
Actually, that's not true. There are certain points when I was playing the various Batman games when that fucking controller would vibrate and I was just ready to throw it through a wall.
Yeah, me too.
You know, because you're like, I've died yet again. Why are you doing this to me?
Don't remind me.
Yeah, let it go.
Shit's
Like that-
old.
Exactly. Anyway, yeah, I think we're done.
Yeah.
So,
Goodbye.
well, usually I like to end on your laughing, but nobody's laughing.
Was that one work?